Hello everyone. In this video lecture, I am going to share with you about the concept of entire function. Entire function are part of the complex analysis. Actually, it is about the analytic function which is everywhere. So let us see what does it mean. In a finite complex plane, if we have a function fz and if that fz is analytic everywhere. If it is analytic everywhere, we call such function as an entire function. So separate name is given to that, right? The entire word mean itself is a everywhere. So this is important to know about the information that what kind of functions are entire function. Reason being, in competitive exams, if you are having some questions, if you have a clarity about that these are the functions which are everywhere analytic, so conclusion about the solution become easy. So we are going to discuss in this lecture some of them. They are not so many. There are some, only few of them are entire functions. So start with, I'll take the number one example, that polynomial functions. So if you are dealing with the polynomial function in Z, they are everywhere analytic. Everywhere analytic means they are entire function. So first point is that are you clear with the functions? What are the polynomial function? So remember that whenever you have a function, if the power of that function, whatever power, if that power is a positive integer, if it is a positive integer, it means you are dealing with a polynomial. So whether it is a one-termed expression or it is a two-term, so in general you write a fz as a nth degree polynomial having all the powers below that are also part of it. But for time being, let us see that there might be like z square, z4 plus 3 I have written here. So many more examples you can think of. Only point to be noted down is how many terms are there. That is not an issue. The point is what should be clear to you. You should be clear that whether it is a polynomial or not. So how do you identify? You just see the power. If all the z in that expression has a positive integers, then you can say that yes, you are dealing with the polynomial functions. Now I'll give you one example. For example, if somebody is asking you that is it a polynomial function, like here you are having z cube plus root of z. Root of z means z to the power 1 by 2. Is it a polynomial? I'll say no. Why? Because here power of z is 1 by 2, so it is not polynomial. It is a function but not a polynomial function. So be careful about that. So if you are dealing with that, you can declare that they are entire function. In this particular case, I am not going to show that how to show that whether it is analytic or not. In my previous lecture, I shared the concept of analytic function and also shared the condition which is sufficient to prove whether the given function is analytic or not. So if anyone want to know, you can go through that part. So let us switch to the second category. So first one is clear, that polynomial functions. What is the second one? Second one are sine and cosine. Though there are 6 trigonometric functions, but all the 6 are not entire. Only 2 of them are entire, sine function and cos. So sine of z and cos of z are everywhere analytic. So everywhere analytic means their entire function. So here I am illustrating one of them. As I have already shared that their entire function means they are analytic everywhere, but let us prove it for one time. Show that fz is equals to sin z is an entire function, means analytic everywhere. One can also ask you this word, analytic everywhere. Or one can ask such question, what are the points where this function is analytic? So they throw a question in front of you and the statement can vary. There are a variety of things one can ask. Let us switch to the calculation. Now our first requirement is, because I have already shared that they are entire or they are analytic everywhere, but let us prove it. That first is we need to express this function into real and imaginary part, means in the form of u plus iota v that I want. So first we have to apply sine a plus b formula, right? So what is the sine a plus b formula? Sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. Now since we want to express it into the proper complex form, so here they are the iota. Now I want to share with you the result where there is a relation between trigonometric and hyperbolic function. Whenever we have a sine of iota times any real expression, then what is the value? It is equals to iota times hyperbolic sine. So if you want to take this iota entry out of the angle, it becomes hyperbolic of that real number and iota comes here. And for cos, it is without iota. So remember, when it is sine of iota times something, it is iota times hyperbolic sine. Don't forget that here it is h, and whenever you have a sine sinhx, it means it is a hyperbolic sine function. But cos has no iota, and as you know, tan is sine by cos, so when you divide it, you get a iota times hyperbolic tan. So this is a one result. So after applying that result, because cos has no iota, so we get a cos iota y will written as coshy. But when it is a sine iota y, here this side, so it become hyperbolic. Here they are hyperbolic with sine iota is there. So now I got that this become my u function and this is a v. Now next step is to find out the CR equations, whether CR equation satisfied or not. So for CR equation, we have to find four partial derivatives. The first one is partial differentiation of u with respect to x. So when you are finding partial differentiation of u with respect to x, this is u, and partial differentiation with respect to x. So x is only here and it is sine of x. So y part is a constant in the partial derivative. Derivative of sine become here cos, and we get a cos x, cos y same. Now next time I differentiate the same function with respect to y. So here y is present in this case. So when you are differentiating with respect to y, cos y is sine sinhy sine x. So here differentiation of cos is there. Now remember one more point I want to interrupt and will share with you that important result. Remember, whenever they are trigonometric functions, sine derivative is cos, and cos derivative is minus sine x. But for hyperbolic function, the differentiation of sine hyperbolic is cos and differentiation of cos is sine. Remember, in case of cos, there is no minus sign. This is one of the important point you should remember, because here we are using it, so that's why I want to show. So here I don't get any minus. So one part is done. Come to the v part. Here for v, it is with respect to x. So x is present here. So when you have a x, what is the derivative of cos x? Derivative of cos x is minus sine x, and sine hy will be constant. Come to this side, vy. So when it is vy, so y is here. Cos x is constant. What is the sine hy derivative? It is cos y. Remember, because they are the hyperbolic part. Whenever there are y is always with the hyperbolic in both the cases. So you can apply. Now let us see the relation. What is the first relation? First relation, we see that this ux and this vy need to be used here. Are they same? Yes, they are same. Cos x, cos y. Here also it is cos x, cos y. So my first condition is satisfied. What is the second condition? Second condition is this one. Second condition is that Vx and Uy should be of opposite sign. They are equal and opposite. And we are observing that Uy is this value. So Uy is minus times Vx. So yes, this condition is also satisfied. They are equal but opposite in sign. So CR equation are satisfied. And since this is a general expression, and it means it is satisfied for all x and y. So CR equation, so first condition done. CR equation satisfied for all x and y. The second one is obvious result. The second condition is that these four functions are continuous everywhere. Now remember students, you are observing here, trigonometric functions are always continuous. Hyperbolic functions are also continuous over here, and the product of any two continuous function is again a continuous function. They are linear by nature. So it is very clearly observed that all these four partial derivatives are continuous. So the sufficient condition is done. CR equation satisfied. Second condition is that all are continuous. Now since it is happening everywhere, you can say that fz is analytic everywhere. Now when it is, or you can say differentiable everywhere means analytic everywhere. Now if it is analytic everywhere, we have a one name for it. We can call sin z is an entire function. Now I want to share one point here. that I ask in this question, also find f dash. So what is f dash z? Remember, only for entire function, not for other. For entire functions, or not for, means for the function which are analytic, so fz can also be expressed, the derivative can be done by usual manner, like differentiation of sin z is equals to cos z, and same differentiation of cos z is minus sin z. And if you have a z to the power n, if somebody say what is the derivative of z to the power cube here, so differentiation of 3z square. So for derivative of this analytic function, you can do the usual, this is only for the analytic function. If it is analytic, you can do the usual differentiation like we do for real numbers. So this part is clear. So you can prove it for cos also, but I don't think it is needed. Now one thing will be clear to you, that these are entire functions. Come to the last example, and here I am taking the exponential function. Now again, the third category of function which are everywhere analytic are the exponential function. Now what you will remember, if you have a e and you have a x, here you have a something in z, then it is always an entire function. So let us prove it like same I did in the previous example. I'll place the value of z equals to, put the value of z equals to x plus iota y. Now you know that it is an exponent by nature, we can separate them. And remember, it is a Euler's formula. What is the Euler's formula? Euler's formula is e to the power iota theta is equals to cos of theta plus iota sine of theta. This result we have already done in the previous classes. So we applied over here. When it is plus, we have a plus. When it is minus, we have a minus. So right now it is plus, so we get a plus sign here. So the next step is to rewrite into real and imaginary part. So this is my u and this is a v. So what is u in this case? U is e to the power x cos y, v is e to the power x sin y. So we do the same activity. What is the partial differentiation of u with respect to x? So here with respect to x, ex is here, cos y is constant, derivative of ex is ex. Now what is u with respect to y? So here cos y, and you know cos y derivative is minus sin y. It is a trigonometric function, so we got that. What about vx? X is here. What is the derivative of ex? Ex is ex, sin y be constant because it is a partial differentiation. What is vy? Vy is a partial differentiation of v with respect to y. Y is here, single function, so derivative of sin y is cos y. So we got this. Now next part is checking. What we have to see is these two functions are, expressions are same. E to the power x cos y and e to the power x cos y are same. My first CR equation is satisfied. Second CR equation, these two should be equal and opposite in sign, and you are observing they are equal but opposite in sign. So second condition is also satisfied. CR equation satisfied for all x and y. Second condition is obvious because remember, exponential function, trigonometric function, they are all continuous, and when you are doing a product of two continuous function, this is a very standard result we have done in the algebra of continuity, they are also continuous. So see, for second part of that satisfactory conditions or sufficient condition, we do not have to prove by limit, you just have to see the nature and declare your answer. So they are continuous for all x and y. So two conditions, sufficient conditions are done. We are in a position to say that they are analytic everywhere. So when they are analytic, it means it is an entire function. And remember, the analytic function which are everywhere analytic, you can find out its derivative by doing a usual differentiation. So remember what we have learned in the today's lecture. We have learned today that z to the power n polynomials, sine, cosine and e to the power z, they are the best, or you can say by default they are the analytic function, and not only at the few points, everywhere on the whole finite complex plane. So hope you have understood. We will come up with the many more part of this topic in our future lectures. Thank you very much.